LeBron James and Team USA will begin their quest for gold on Sunday, and it's no slouch. The Joker and Team Serbia. Team USA has taken home the gold in 4 straight Olympics, and it would love to roll through group play against Serbia, South Sudan, and Puerto Rico. Serbia may be the toughest test, but things have not been easy thus far. Team USA's head coach, Steve Kerr, at the mic.
We have another level. I think we have another 2 levels that we can get to. It's a collaboration always. So we can show the strategic stuff on the tape. Walk through. We can show them, hey, let's do this, let's do that. Let's learn personnel. We got to know the shooters, know the non-shooters, all that stuff. So that's where we can help them. Where they can help themselves is just effort and energy, play after play after play. This is different. It's literally 6 games. And watching the tape, we're jogging through some possessions. We're not hitting bodies on box outs. And so it's time. It's time to lock in on that.
Brian Windhorst joining us now. Where is he? Do we have him, guys?
You eating another baguette?
There he is with his theme music. Really? Really?
That looks nice.
Put me on the camera with him, and I need that shot.
The beret.
Excuse me, Brian Windhorst. Really? The Eiffel Tower behind you? Like, seriously? And I've got the Brooklyn Bridge? It's messed up. Who decided this? Dave Roberts? Yeah. Who dictated that you get to go to Paris and do this? Just because you know a little more about basketball than I do and have a few more connections? Come on.
Molly, there's more room here. We could do the whole show from here. Get on the plane. I'll see you on Monday. Let's just make it happen. Stop complaining about it.
Wendy, do you know I've never been to Paris?
Never?
Yeah, I've never been to Paris.
Come on, Molly.
Yeah.
Come on, Molly. Stop. I don't want to hear that anymore.
I know. Seriously, I told you I would carry your bags. I know you lose your luggage all the time. I've heard the stories. So, all right, let's get into it, though. Wendy, in all seriousness, usually Team USA is so dominant, and I talked about it earlier, straight golds. But this year it seems like it's been a little different. What's the level of concern for Team USA?
I don't think they're concerned. I think it's about challenge. They played really well last week in Abu Dhabi. They blew out the Australians, and then Australia kind of came back in that game. But it was really an impressive performance from the team against the team that won the bronze in the last Olympics. Then Serbia, who I honestly believe might be their biggest competition for the gold for various reasons, they blew them out. They really shut Jokic down. And I think they got to London and kind of relaxed. And what was interesting is that after they had that close win over the South Sudan and then they kind of won close against Germany, Steve Kerr he wasn't really that critical of the team. He said, well, we did some good things. When the team got here to France 2 days ago, Steve Kerr's tone totally changed. He said that the tapes were very hard to watch. You heard him say there that he felt like there was no energy. They were jogging, basically dogging it at times. And so he has definitely changed the tone and has tried to amp up the intensity. I think one of the things that's happening here, when the Team USA went to Tokyo, they were very lackadaisical coming into their first game in the last Olympics, and they lost to France out of the gate. That was their toughest opponent in the pool play, and ended up being a preview of the gold medal game, and it set them on sort of tilt for the rest of the Olympics. I think what Steve Kerr wants to do here is call on his team to raise their level of game. He knows there's more there, and what I'm going to be interested to watch, Molly, is how the guys respond. I think they had a very good practice yesterday. It was definitely their hardest practice they've had since coming overseas. And I want to see how they respond to Steve Kerr's challenge. They can afford to lose a pool play game. If they lose on Sunday, it would not be good, but it wouldn't be catastrophic. But the way they react to their Hall of Fame coach, basically saying they're not getting it done, to me will teach us a lot about this team going forward.
Bart?
Yeah, and kind of watching, when I watch the players show up, I can look at their bodies and physically say that these aren't the guys that I'm used to seeing. You can tell that they've taken some time out. And it sounds like they're trying to round themselves back into shape, and they're relying more on talent right now. And that's why, the big issue for me is like.
You think they get out of shape that quickly?
Absolutely. I can look at Steph Curry. I'm used to seeing him a lot leaner. It doesn't take long, Molly, because during the season, guys are eating right. They're working out and they're rounding themselves in shape. So when he's talking about them jogging up the court.
Yeah.
That's not a want-to thing. It's a I can't-to thing as well. Yes, they're trying to, especially when the other teams, listen, this is their greatest matchup.
No, I'm not challenging you. I'm just curious. Obviously, you're the professional athlete.
LeBron is the only person I look that looks super lean. Even Steph, I'm used to seeing Steph with more veins and vascular, looking more vascular, so I can tell they're out of shape like that. And that's usually what happens. It looks like the other teams are just playing harder because this is the championship for them. They get to go against a great USA team, and then you got some of the other guys that are saying, hey, man, like I play with these guys. This is my opportunity to show that I'm on that level. I just don't get the opportunities to. So it's going to be tough. What concerns me is really the three-point shooting and the fact that, they're not shooting the ball great from the outside. You think, Steph Curry, you're going to be shooting a high percentage because Steph is that elite. It makes me kind of think, when Anthony Edwards talking about, we don't have a Kobe and, he looks like the engine, like the energy. But that's what makes me think that maybe they should have a guy like Jaylen Brown on there because of when you lose Kawhi Leonard, you miss that kind of firepower. And he's a guy that's a two-way player, but he's an energy, high-effort type of guy. That's just how he rolls. So that's why I was looking at, maybe, they may regret that.
In '92, when we started calling this team the Dream Team, we changed the expectations forever.
Yeah.
The expectations of any all-star group of players that are going to go play in the Olympics for this country through the roof. So if we're not getting 30 and 40-point wins, it's almost like we're insulted as fans. How could this happen? Well, number one, basketball's gotten a lot better on the global stage. These teams are better. Number two, these are tune-up games. These are tune-up games. To your point, they're not going to go 100%. They're probably not in the best of shape right now.
Right.
But we did this 3 years ago in Tokyo. U.S. went 2-1 in pool play.
Yeah.
They lost to France. Everyone started freaking out. Then they blew out Spain. They blew out Australia. They beat France in the gold medal game. It was tight, but they ended up winning it. So until we even see a sliver of a loss when it actually matters, I wouldn't worry at all about this.
I just like building up the drama because it makes
You
me
have
even
to.
more
Oh, yeah.
excited for Sunday in these games.
Yeah.
I'm like, maybe they're going to lose it. All right, Wendy, you and I have to have a little chat. But seriously, the Eiffel Tower, I mean, it is just unbelievable. What did you have for breakfast, like a croissant or something?
Yeah, chocolate, pan de chocolat. That's what you have here.
Oh, that's cool.
Chocolate.
That's awesome.
It's a nice restaurant in the Eiffel Tower as well. Wendy's probably.
I actually didn't even have.
You ain't
breakfast,
getting in there
so-
tonight, Bart.
Yeah. All right.
VIPs only.
All right, we gotta talk about Joel Embiid, Wendy. I have questions for you. So here's the deal. He's not feeling the love right now. As Embiid gets set for Sunday's matchup with Serbia, he's had a myriad of interviews, and the 2023 MVP has dealt with some criticism based on controversial plays and his injury history he was asked about. And listen to this hot take from Embiid.
I'm probably the most hated guy in the league. I don't know why, cause I'm just cool. Like
You're the most hated guy.
I don't know what's there to hate about me. Like
It's the injuries.
I feel like a lot of people can relate to my story and what I've been through.
All right, Wendy. Is Embiid the most hated
First off,
player?
He had a nice room in London. I did not have that nice of a room, Molly. Maybe if I put you in my charge of travel, you could upgrade me. That would be appreciated.
I don't stay in bad hotel rooms,
in the
Wendy.
top
That's for
three.
sure. That's not even an option. But carry on.
Right. Well, yeah. Well, let's just say the Olympic accommodations are not that. I don't think he's even in the top three. I think Draymond Green is in there. I think Dylan Brooks, who's here in Paris playing for Canada. I guess Pat Bev signed overseas, so maybe he's not in there. I think Joel is, being a little bit too sensitive there. I think sometimes the way he plays can be frustrating because he tries to draw fouls a lot. He ends up on the ground a lot. He's become an expert. He's one of the most prolific scorers we've seen of this generation. I mean, the guy averages like 35 points a game. You don't do that without putting up some trickeration to get to the line. So I think it can be annoying to watch him play. I think if you're a Sixers fan, you can get annoyed that he's had these injuries at bad times where it's cost him in the playoffs. But I don't think that's hate. I mean, there's moments where he can be frustrating. I just he's a guy who likes to be known as a troll. So he sort of invites that. So I'm going to kind of choose to disregard this from Joel.
Yeah, complete agreement. He's an exciting player. People like him. A lot of people like him. Like Dylan Brooks. I don't know anybody that likes Dylan Brooks, right? Even his own teammates. Embiid flops too much, right? That's a bit of a pain. And there were a couple cheap shots in the playoffs last year, so that'll get you there. But ultimately, I would much rather, as a Sixer fan, quiet everything down? Can we please quiet everything down?
Yeah.
Paul George is in tow. The roster has been rebuilt. Can we please just focus on anything other than all the chitter chatter and the noise and everything that this organization does every year that has nothing to do with winning on the court? Please. Like, again, what
I think he's just motivating himself. Maybe in the past with some of the cheap shots people got on him, but honestly, I think a lot of people have more sympathy for Joel Embiid because he played so hard and he was injured, right? And he said he shouldn't have even played in the playoffs. So
that's why it's surprising that Philly allowed him to play in the Olympics.
What is this?
That's what's more egregious. But after this year, I mean, it's got to be Draymond Green who took the crown. He had a rough year.
Yeah. Well, around here for Knicks fans, I can say that it's Joel Embiid. He's public enemy #1 for what he did to Mitchell Robinson by pulling his ankle and getting him hurt, and then also stepping on some players and some of the the fouls. People don't realize that he's up there, right there with Draymond Green. May have more flagrant fouls than Draymond Green as well. But self-pity, we don't indulge in that as athletes. So we got no love for that right here, Joel Embiid. Like, he's going to have tremendous pressure this year to see it through, see the process through. This is the best opportunity he has for that. Listen, he's one of the best players, arguably the most talented big man this game has ever seen. And they expect him to play like a big man sometimes. Sometimes he's flopping like a fish sometimes with the Ginobili stuff.
And we're used to Harden flopping, not Embiid flopping.
Wendy, answer this for me. First of all, I was surprised that he was playing on Team USA, right? Because he's not American-born to begin with.
It'll be for France.
And then to Joe's point, and like we talked about this a lot with Kawhi Leonard, why play in these Olympics based on the injury history?
Well, it's very important. Yeah, it's very important to him. First off, he would not have played in the playoffs had he not been cleared by the team's doctors. This is a extremely valuable player. He was cleared to play. This idea, should he play, should he not play? The 76ers are hugely incentivized to protect him. He was cleared to play, and he did play, and for a lot of it, he played well. And he is cleared to play now. And this is a huge moment for him. He was given French citizenship a couple of years ago with the understanding that he would play for France. You could actually make the argument that he may be under more adversity here, playing here, because the French are not happy with him because he got his American citizenship after he played, or after he got his French citizenship, and then chose America over France. He also could have played for Cameroon. Cameroon was in the qualification earlier this month. He chose the Americans. He did that for a reason. He really wants to win a gold medal for his adopted country where he's lived since he was 16. Why wouldn't you respect that? Why wouldn't you want to play? And he is cleared to play. It's one thing if he's playing through a stop sign. If he's healthy enough to play, he should play. The Sixers are part of this process, and they support it. And so that's just reality. I mean, the idea that he shouldn't play is based on the idea that, that he could get injured more. He's never going to be free from the concern about injury. That's what his life is going forward. So, look, he's actually looked really good. His last several games where the team has struggled a little bit, he's been a bright spot. And against these teams that have huge size, like Nikola Jokic, like the French, who have Victor Wembanyama and Rudy Gobert, he's going to be extremely important for the Americans. The difference between the Americans winning the gold and not could end up being Joel Embiid. This is not a luxury player. This is a necessity player. Grant Hill recruited him over the course of a year to get him to say yes. This is an extremely big deal to get Joel Embiid to play. The reason they went out and got a naturalized player is because we as Americans don't have a lot of great centers. Look at all the great centers in the league. They're all foreign-born.